Hello, management 4071. This is week 6. Now, this week we're going to dive more into leadership. Now, I want to make something clear. Leaders and managers, they're not the same thing. Technically, all managers should be leaders. However, management is positional, leadership is relational. As you're going to be learning this week, leadership is about having a relationship with each individual person on your team and with the team as a whole, because the team as a whole begins to take on its own personality. It becomes an entity of its own. So you need a relationship with the entire team, but you also have to have a positive, healthy work relationship with each of the members individually. You're going to be going through and learning about the traits of prospective leaders. Okay, what makes a good leader? Is it charisma? Charisma can be good. However, there's a downside to charisma. Most leaders of cults have typically been charismatic leaders. When you're a charismatic leader, it's very easy to be able to manipulate the people under you. So while charisma is good, especially in an entrepreneurial startup sort of environment, in a larger, more established organization, charismatic leadership can cause problems. Are you a servant leader? Now, it doesn't mean that you bring coffee to every individual, but it means that you find ways to help them to be able to accomplish their task. It might be in the form of finding them resources or better equipment or being a sounding board and providing feedback when they need it. Are you a humble leader? Are you an arrogant, egotistical, narcissistic leader, a toxic leader? And narcissistic leadership and toxic leadership are actually leadership styles that we experts do study. They're very negative. There's a lot of abuse of individuals in those. You're going to be getting into the process associated with people coming into leadership positions. Are you formally the leader? Have you been assigned a new role? Or did you just kind of float to the surface among everybody there? And now everybody turns to you for guidance, even though you're not the appointed leader. Many leaders are just like that. They're regular team members without positional authority. But based on their knowledge and their ability to engage in these relationships I described earlier, they become the de facto leader of that group. You're going to be comparing and contrasting the characteristics of transactional, transformational, and charismatic leadership. Transactional leadership is you do work, I pay you. That's the very short version of transactional leadership. Transformational is I'm helping you, my subordinate, to be able to get promoted. Basically, like in the Army, I would train the E4s under me because I was an E5 sergeant. So I would train the corporals and the specialists to be able to become sergeants. They were learning how to do my job while I was learning the squad leader and the platoon leader, pardon me, I back that up, the squad sergeant and the squad and the platoon sergeants. My brain just went out of me for a minute there. I was learning their positions so I could get promoted to their positions. That's transformational. You're transforming people from being just a team member to being a leader themselves. You're going to be describing how the power bases work in organizational life. There is politics in organizations. And as bad as it might seem at times, it is very essential and necessary. And it's also necessary that you know how to navigate these. Navigating the power bases, you have to understand the motivations that people have for the agendas that they adopt. You need to find people that are adopting an agenda that is aligned with the agenda of the organization. Because if it's a self driven, self motivated agenda, you're not looking out for the interests of the organization. And that doesn't lead to things that are good very often. Um, you're going to be explaining the skills that managers can use to cope with organizational politics. One is you've got to have a healthy work life balance. You've got to find a way to, when you're not at work, to have peace. All right. That might be you need hobbies. Maybe you have a family and you need time with your family. You separate your work life from your private life. And if you're like me and you're single, you find hobbies, you find friends, you find interests that you're into that aren't related to your position. So, this is just a little taste of what you're going to be learning this week. Make sure that you read, let's see, what is it? You have chapters 12 and 13 in your textbook. You have a couple of videos to watch, and they're relatively short, 6 minutes and 13 minutes. You have a discussion. The initial post is due on Wednesday, and that's about the power bases and organizational politics. And you need to reply to a minimum of two classmates by Sunday evening at 11:59 p.m. You also have an assignment on leadership due Sunday at 11:59 p.m. And you have a quiz over chapters 7 through 10 and 12 through 13, and that's due Sunday by 11:59 p.m. Please send me an email if you have any comments, questions, or anything that arises, any concerns. I thank you for your time, and I look forward to grading your work.